members of the public, our viewers out there, welcome back to this Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils and related matters for proceedings of this week. Madam Chair, may I pass the floor on to you for our next item? Thank you.
May I now take this opportunity to call Honorable Silla to lead us in Muslim prayers and Honorable Joyner to lead us in Christian prayers. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alayhim. Khairil maghdubi 'alayhim waladdallin. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا إنك أنت الوهاب إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما برحمة اللهم صل على الفاتح لما أغلق والخاتم لما سبق نازل الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord God, I ask that you give us a spirit of wisdom and discernment to make choices that honor and glorify you today, and so that we may know you better. Thank you that within you are treasures of wisdom and knowledge, and you generously supply us with understanding through your Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Commissioners. May I now try to call in the witness? Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. Please sit down. Before I yield the floor to Madam Chair for continuation of your testimony, may I remind you that you are still under oath. Madam Chair, over to you.
Good morning, Mr. Jallo.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
I will now hand you over to lead counsel to continue with your evidence. Thank you. Lead counsel.
Thank you. Morning, Chairperson, Commissioners. Morning, Mr. Jallo.
Yes, morning.
Last week, you were asked to produce some documents.
Yes.
Do you have them?
Not all of them, but they are, the ministry is. I've called the secretary.
Okay.
He was on track throughout last week, but today he's in the office this morning, though he's on his way to Mansakonko, but he's sending somebody to bring the remaining documents.
Okay, so what about the ones that you were able to find? Do you have those?
I have few of them here.
Okay. So Registrar, can you assist the witness?
Yes, these ones are for my evidences.
Chairperson, the witness has provided 3 documents. One is the final report of the inspection exercise on the fraud allegations at KMC, dated October 2021. The second one is a letter from the Attorney General's Chambers, the Ministry of Justice, to the Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Lands, in respect of a recommendation for a Presidential Commission of Inquiry, dated 28th March 2022, and a notification of Commission of Inquiry directed at the Lord Mayor, Canifing Municipal Council, from the Ministry of Lands, and is dated the 4th of January 2022. I applied to tender the documents that have been produced by the witness.
Very well.
I applied to tender the documents as a bundle.
The final report on the inspection exercise on the fraud allegation at the KMC, dated October 2021, and a letter from the Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle Banjul, with reference number MOLRG/C/116/folio 9, dated the 4th of January 2022, with caption notification of Commission of Inquiry, and a letter from the Attorney General's Chambers, Ministry of Justice, Marina Parade Banjul, addressed to the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, the Quadrangle, with reference number AG/C/376/01, folio 3, dated the 28th of March 2022, is hereby admitted in evidence admitted in evidence in a bundle and marked as LGC/MG/006.
You informed the Commission that you only became aware of the Senabu Martin Sonko issue around December 2022?
Yes.
Okay, and your decision not to look into it was due to information that you received about a commission of inquiry being set up?
Yes.
And who gave you that information?
I got that from the ministry, from the permanent secretary.
And when did he give you that information?
This was during a meeting we had with them, an engagement, and that because we started looking at the Senabu Martin fraud issues, and as a result, we even requested for some documents to be provided to the Commission, and a letter was written to that effect. I think the other lead counsel was even reading that letter sometimes. Was it the previous sitting? Though he did not read that part of that letter, he read the last paragraph, but the other part was requesting for more documents regarding the Senabu Martin issue. It was after that we were informed that a presidential commission is in the making and that they are going to look into the same issues.
So are you saying that, actually before that, when did you engage the ministry on this issue?
I think this was in January, most likely.
January, this year, 2023?
Yes.
And you...
Either January or February, I can't remember exactly.
Pardon?
Either January or February, I think. But we wrote to that effect. Even.
Okay. So when you wrote to the ministry to request, what exactly did you write to request? Why did you write to the ministry?
Yeah, because of the inadequacy of the documents we received. When we were reviewing them, we noticed that some documents were mentioned and they were not attached, they were not available. And then we requested for those documents.
So at the time that you made the request and when they provided additional documents, did they provide you or inform you about the existence of the inspection report?
Yeah, then I already had the inspection report.
When was this?
This was when I was about to go to the court.
When was that?
This was, letter was written in December, I can't remember exactly when. Then I got these documents from the court, you see, and this report was part of it.
And did you find out from the ministry why they had the report since about October 2021 and did not do anything about it?
Yeah, because for them, the report informed the establishment of the commission.
I'm sorry?
The report was part of the basis for the setting up of the Commission of Inquiry.
So the report was obtained in October 2021?
Yes.
So they informed you that the report was going to form the basis of the Commission of Inquiry, so you should not do anything about it?
Yes. And the letter the evidence I submitted today, if you read the letter informing the notification for the Commission of Inquiry to the Lord Mayor, it is indicated there.
Now that letter is dated the 4th of January 2022.
But that was before the report. And the report is quoted.
I'm sorry, the letter is after the report. The report is October 2021. The letter to the Lord Mayor KMC is dated 4th January 2022.
Yes.
Correct. And it says, I wish to officially inform your good office that the Honorable Minister, acting in accordance with Section 151 of the Local Government Act as amended, constituted a commission of inquiry into allegations of fraud and malpractice at the KMC from April 2018 to date, and for other connected matters as reported to his office by the Lord Mayor, the CEO, and the special inspection reports. In line with the above, your office and the General Counsel are requested to support the process. By a copy of this letter, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer, the staff and all connected persons of KMC are notified and informed accordingly and are requested to support and provide any information and or materials to the Commission to assist this very important process. Now, this Commission was eventually set up, correct?
Yes.
And it had to stop?
Yes.
Okay. Now, after this one, they informed you that they were going to set up another commission?
Yes.
Bearing in mind that the previous commission set up to look into it failed?
Yes.
What was your assurance that the one set up after it would not fail?
Yeah, because of that letter, the other evidence that I submitted from the Attorney General chambers.
This is a legal opinion that's provided to the ministry?
Yeah, not from the Attorney General.
It's a legal opinion from the Attorney General to the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Lands?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so that's not an issue. Now, the first commission failed. The second commission had not been set up at the time that you became aware of the issues.
Yeah, but the process was on.
But it hadn't commenced?
Yes.
So you essentially had no tangible evidence that it would go on. You just assumed because they told you that they were in the process of setting it up.
Yeah, and I have seen correspondence regarding that.
But you saw correspondence regarding the first commission as well?
No, that was before I assumed office.
The second the one in respect of the second commission you're saying is before you is also, sorry, in office?
That was the time I saw the communication. When after our discussions, I was availed with that letter from the Attorney General.
It was dated the 28th of March 2022.
Yes.
The Commission of Inquiry that you currently before was set up in 2023. So for a whole year, nothing was done?
Whether? I'm not getting you.
The letter that you speak of?
Yes, was dated when?
28th March 2022.
Okay.
The Commission of Inquiry that you're saying that you were waiting for was set up in February 2023.
No, I mean the Presidential Commission. When was that letter written?
Would you like to see the letter?
Yes.
28th March 2022.
Yes, can I see the letter, please? Yes, this was written 28 March 2022.
Okay.
Yes.
So the Commission of Inquiry into Local Government Councils was set up in February 2023, which is a whole year from when this letter was written.
Yes, but the process was on.
Okay. Now, you will agree that the ministry only became aware of your intention to look into the Zainabu Martins issue because you had notified that you were going to do so?
No, because we were informed to look at the interdict issue of Zainabu Martin Sonko. And that the KMC Establishment Committee wrote to that effect.
The KMC Establishment Committee wrote to the Commission?
Yes.
Not to the Ministry?
No, the letter was addressed to the Commission.
Right.
Though it went through the Ministry.
But it was addressed to you?
But it was addressed to me and it was forwarded to me.
Yes. Now, you said you were going to look into the issue?
Yes.
And then...
Yeah, because when we received the letter, we were looking at the interdiction, the nature it happened, and also the allegations.
Now, so back to what I was asking. The letter was addressed to you?
Yes.
And you were going to look into the issue?
Yes.
Were you going to only look at the interdiction issue, or were you going to look at the interdiction issue and the issue of the fraud?
No, we intended to look at both.
Exactly.
But to start with the interdiction, because we saw anomalies that were not a good sign for the Commission, because we saw KMC was acting on and without following the due process, and also did not notify the commission when they interdicted Seinabu, which contravenes the Act, particularly Section 48 of the Local Government Act. You see, they did not comply with that section, and then they interdicted Seinabu. After 1 year, 5 months, they wrote to the commission. We saw that that could be a recipe or a precedence that can undermine the authority of the commission. So we wanted to address that so that there will not be a replica of such action. Then after we go and look into the fraud allegations.
So are you saying that Senator Martin should have and then taken steps?
They can take steps. They have their resolution, but it should have been forwarded to the commission for approval or otherwise.
Now, I'm sorry, I'm just looking for something.
I think.
So you were going to look into the fraud issue, and you were going to look into the...
As a result of a request, we wrote requesting for more evidences, more documents.
And it was then that the ministry advised you that you shouldn't look into that issue because there's going to be a commission of inquiry.
A commission of inquiry is in the making, and they are going to investigate that issue.
Now, do you think that the fact that you have to go back to the ministry and inform them of your intended actions would affect the work of the commission? Because if you had not informed them that you wanted to do this, they would not have told you that there's a commission of inquiry being set up.
Anyway, because we wrote requesting for more documents, indicating that
that's what I'm asking you. If
yes.
you did not have to write to the ministry
yes.
to request further documents in respect of this issue, they would not have known that you were going to look into it. Is that not right?
No, I cannot answer that.
How would they have known that you were going to look into it?
No, what I mean is...
No, how would the ministry have known that the commission was going to writing to them?
Yeah, because we have to write, because when we...
So that's what I'm asking you. If
yes.
you did not have to write to them,
yes.
would they have known that you're going to investigate this issue? Right. So you would agree that the fact to write to them undermines the work that you're going to do in respect of this issue?
No.
You don't agree?
No.
So your position be different if you had the files of the commission with you that would have all the facts that you needed and you didn't have to write.
If we had all
the reason why you the documents.
Yes, because some of the documents, because our request was to the ministry and to K in twofold. One to the ministry, the other one was documents we were requesting.
And you were requesting these from KMC because Sonko worked with KMC?
Yeah. In the report, some documents were mentioned which were not made available. And some of them were not even in the ministry's file.
And requested documents from KMC because
yes.
Senator Martin Sonko worked with KMC
yes.
and they would have those documents.
Yes.
Now, the reason the ministry is because they documents that relate to staff that work with the councils.
Yeah, because the council goes through the ministry.
So that's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, that is why
if you did not have to ask the ministry for
yes.
documents, know what your intentions are, and so they will not be able to give you information that other. Right. So the fact that you have to ask them for documents or what steps you're taking would automatically have an impact in the work that you documents because you so they wouldn't know that that's what you're doing. Is that not right?
Yes, because
right.
they are not represented in our meetings.
They're not represented in your meetings, but the director of governance is there. The director of governance goes back to report to his permanent secretary.
Yes, we direct him.
When he's meeting with his permanent secretary?
No.
So how would you know what he speaks to his permanent secretary? By whom?
By the commission. He is not a member. He is the secretary. His role is
Who
to
pays
take
the
records.
director of governance's salary?
He's paid allowance.
Who pays his salary?
The government.
And who pays his allowance? Both the Ministry of Lands.
Yes.
Okay.
Budget is under the directorate budget.
Which is under the Ministry of Lands.
Yes.
That's sufficient. What happened with Zainabu Martin? What happened with the other staff that she was interdicted? Did those matters come before your commission?
Yes.
And what steps were taken?
At both of them, and we wrote that all of them should return. The letter did not only mention Zainabu, because Zainabu and the others.
So the others have returned to work?
No.
They've not returned to work?
No, not to my knowledge.
Do you know why? Right. Now, did you redeploy any of the staff? Which ones?
The deputy CEO.
Did you redeploy any of the staff that were interdicted with Zainabu Martin Sonko?
No, not yet.
What?
We cannot redeploy all of them as at now. When you do that, that will crumble the council. Because they all man. If you want to just move them all at once, for the commission, it's not wise. You do it when the need arises, or when you see that it will not.
Now, the council is able to recommend for the removal of their CEO. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, when the council wrote to your commission recommending the removal of the CEO on the grounds of fraud, to inform them about its decision, the fraud allegations?
That was not during our time.
So, when you were informed about it and you were present, did you write back to inform them of your decision?
We did not finish that one because that was going to be.
Did you inform them that you would not deal with that issue until after whatever the issue was that you would not deal with it for?
Yeah, in fact, we told them for any order of will be based on the outcome of go to the next step. That was indicated in the letter we sent to KMC. That was the last paragraph, I think. That was the second February letter, I think.
Is that letter before the commission? Mr. Jallo, is this letter that you're speaking of one of the ones that you brought? Because we do not have records of this letter. February.
You don't have that one?
No.
Okay.
Can you kindly provide it?
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, because the one I have was just a copy without the letterhead. But we have the one with the letterhead. But if you
provide.
See it is the same thing, you can.
Please provide the letter.
Okay. But this one is not, or you want to look at
it? Doesn't have the letter. Are you familiar with the scheme of service of the local government councils?
Excuse me, please?
Of the local government councils?
Yes.
Please look at this letter.
Okay.
Check 102 from Ex. This is a letter from the Council 2023.
Yes.
Seeking for the confirmation of one Margaret B. Samba for the post of protocol officer.
Yes.
Is this a...
This one is not in the, I haven't seen it in the scheme.
And seeking for Banjul City Council on contract for 1 year, 10 months.
Yes. This is on our table. Yes.
What about it is for discussion?
For the commission to review it and take a decision. One plus the admin director, and I think that from BCC for confirmation. But they submitted all the documents that were required. But for now, I got all the documentations. Okay. That's the information I got from the secretary.
Very well. Now,
sorry, Councillor. Can I ask the witness whether he has the service scheme? Service scheme?
Yes.
As well.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Maybe you can make a... It is correct also, councillors are not staff.
Yes, they are not permanent staff. They are not.
And they're only paid allowances, they're not paid salaries.
Yes.
Mr. Registrar, please look at folio 59 of exhibit LGC/DG0. This is a resolution passed by the Bassa Area Council.
Okay.
September 2020. And that approved 30% to affect both the staff and the policy makers. The policy makers would be the councillors, is that correct?
And this 30% was different from the government 30%?
Document what's before you.
Because I cannot remember when government announced that 30% they wanted to implement, or is a different one?
I can't tell you that. That's why we're asking you questions. But that staff are paid salary.
Yes.
Councillors are not staff.
Yes.
Councillors are paid allowance. And from your in the Local Government Act, the councillor's remuneration is set by the minister.
By the minister, yes.
So the council cannot unilaterally.
No, they cannot. I think that is why they wrote to the last page. Say I Council to the Permanent Secretary. It's a resolution of the General Council. Resolution of General Council today, Wednesday 22. The management of Basse Area Council counts on your usual support, encouragement. Maybe the letter did not. For me, it falls short of what was expected. Requested for approval of the Honorable Minister for that of the councillors. Out of the staff, normally it is under government. When government increase, it is increased.
So you would agree that unless the minister, in accordance with the act, says that this is the councillors, they cannot increase it by themselves?
No, they can't recommend. They can ask for approval. But in the absence of the approval, then it is something illegal.
Okay, can I have that back, please? Now, are you aware of any loan policies when it comes to councillors?
No.
And the loans that the councils give are staff loans, correct?
Yes.
And it is only staff of the council that are entitled to those loans?
Yeah, but in practice, councillors given.
Yes, but they're not staff.
No, they are not. They are not staff.
Aware of any policy that exists to councillors?
No.
Thank you.
Even in the finance and accounting manual, it's mentioning only staff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that. Thank you. You stated in your witness statement that previously the CEOs were allowed to appoint staff up to grade 5, I believe.
Yes, that was for the delegation.
You said that your commission brought the grade down to grade 3.
Reverse it.
Can you tell us?
In line with the regulations.
The regulations?
Because the regulations only allowed for grade 1 to 3, or 1 and 2.
So that's, these are the regulations that you have said have not been passed.
Yes, and even the PSC regulations is grade 1 to 3 for this.
Okay.
And the reason, for that, can I elaborate?
Mr. Jala, sorry,
yes.
Can I have this issue clarified? So, are you telling the Commission that you relied on these rules as provided for in your Act? I want you to clarify that for the Commission.
Yes, we use both. We rely on the PSC one. But they are the same. It's just the names that are changed. Where you have permanent secretary, where you have PSC, you have the Local Government Service Commission, but the contexts are the same.
You cannot rely on a document that is a legally gazetted document. Do you know that?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mr. Jalo, my co-counsel has some questions.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
I will mainly some of the documents you were supposed to bring.
Yes.
You were asked to bring the redeployment letter from your office. I want to know why you haven't brought them.
Yeah, because here on the commission on Thursday late, and on Thursday I was briefed, Thursday night, who brought me up. Then we had to travel to the on Friday, and our secretary was also on track for this swearing in of councillors and chairpersons in the provinces. He was not in the produce these documents, and I was also away on Friday to attend the burial of my uncle. But nonetheless, I've called the secretary to make sure the documents are sent to me this morning. He's still going to continue the Swearing in is on. Today they are doing Mansakonko, but I able to send it, you see, before for Mansakonko.
Yes, may I just intervene at this point? I'm sorry to hear that you were bereaved, and I will wish to, at this point, take this opportunity on behalf of the commissioners and the secretariat, express our heartfelt condolence to you. And we pray that Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will Thank you. You can proceed.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. I was also going to say the same thing, but also in addition as well, I wouldn't is an excuse as to why you have not implementation. In fact, the requested to provide are very much integral in this investigation. Let me read one or two of the documents that you were asked to bring and you failed to bring them. The letter demoting Kajali, the of KMC. Do you recall that?
Yeah, I have the list.
Yes, and also minutes of your meeting, matters of Pak Khalifa, the dismissal of Abdullah T. Young, Alayis MM Saho. Those yes. minutes you said you have discussed them, we asked for the minutes, you haven't brought them.
Yes.
You see, this is the same old excuse that we find in the system. So how about your co-workers? Where they
on what?
In relation to having these documents. You left here on Thursday. I understand you were bereaved, and I'm sorry for your loss. You gave excuse regarding that, but you have your fellow commissioners as well. What can you tell us about that?
They don't have access to the office.
How do you expect us to have information regarding this?
I think I've explained that already.
It's not sufficient. If they don't have agreement with one of the commissioners, don't you have a deputy?
No, I think for me...
Do you have a deputy commissioner? What is the role of the deputy commissioner?
Is to deputize the commissioner.
So if you are not present, the commissioner is to deputize you in all functions. So therefore, I believe strongly, it's my opinion, made arrangement to provide these documents.
No, of course, I think I'll have to argue, because for me, the excuses I gave, one, the documents are kept, the officer was on track. Even when the vice chairperson allowed to go to the ministry, she would not have access even to that. That's what I'm saying. Because these things are kept in the secretary's office.
On this matter, institutions be effective regarding the people manning the institutions are present by virtue of being incapacitated of whatsoever form or not. We don't expect that just because one or two people are not present, an institution cannot operate. And this is the same problem that we're discussing here now.
Yeah, can I comment on that?
Please proceed.
Yeah. That are affecting the commission earlier is one of them. If we have had our own office, cupboards where we keep our files, our own record system, this situation would not have arisen.
These documents?
Inshallah today.
Good. But let's still discuss, since you are here and you are the chairperson, I want us to just discuss in one or two issues possibly contained in these documents in relation to the demotion of Kajali. Who the decision making regarding his demotion?
The commission.
Did you receive? Did you do it unanimously, or was it through an advice from the secretary, the ministry?
The permanent secretary does our meetings,
but then
so he cannot direct us what to do or what our decisions are. Under the and say here, since we assumed office, the permanent secretary, nor the permanent secretary, neither the minister have ever attempted.
Now, I don't discuss issues in relation. Yes. Now, that's why I use the word the office of the permanent secretary or the minister, just for clarity's sake.
Okay.
It doesn't matter who occupies the office. All communications coming from these offices be coming from. So my point is, were there recommendations for dismissal, for demotion?
Within the commission, when we were discussing, some members even of dismissal, and some members said no, that is too harsh for now, go in for demotion. And this was among the commission. And then finally, a conclusion was reached. Instead of dismissal, we are going to
have a recommendation for his demotion from the Ministry of Local
No. The ministry was not even aware.
How about the transfer of the then CEO? Were there recommendations for her transfer from the ministry?
Initially there was, but it was not. It was for all the councils. So when we received that...
Can you tell us what you mean by all the councils?
All the CEOs. That was the recommendation sent to the commission from the... I think this was it? Yeah, either or end of April.
Was that done?
No, it was not done.
So what in relation to that communication?
No, in fact, that one when we discussed, we even stated that reasonable as at now, because the issues that are happening, all the CEOs, it will raise an alarm. You see, because that coincided with it was just around election. People may think that it may be politically motivated, and the commission is view that was not the right time to do a general transfer. But in our subsequent meeting, to make a strategic transfer in order to bring sanity to KMC.
And what
because in KMC, in their write-ups, they would always indicate that already, and they don't think Seinabu can work in KMC. And the commission and came to the conclusion that yes, it is true, in as much as he was sent on leave without the approval of his bad blood, that the commission realized, accepted there is bad blood, and to bring sanity to KMC, it was prudent to redeploy. That was the reason why, at least I think about 3 CEOs were just moved to bring sanity to KMC.
My question is, received a letter from the ministry,
yes,
requesting that there be general transfers of all the CEOs. Were there any reason to that effect?
Well, they said they need rotation.
Now, did you receive communication request transferred?
No, it was in that general.
You receive communication requesting the Senator Martin to be transferred?
No, personally, Senator Martin only.
Make the decision to transfer only Senator Martin?
It's not only Senator Martin who is transferred.
How many people did you transfer?
It's 3 CEOs. One is Sambali,
Yes.
PART1 CC.
So where is PART1 CC?
Currently, she is in Janjambure.
How about Senabu?
Sambali,
Yes.
Karawan,
And then Senabu Martin.
KMC.
So who is currently at KMC?
Should come to KMC.
Do you know whether he has assumed office at KMC?
Not yet, up to today.
But today. Honorable Chairperson, I will want the witness to make these documents available. It is very important because without making these documents available, we cannot further examine on the matter concerning the transfer of Senabu to Janjambure, I believe. Now let's just discuss.
He has undertaken to produce the documents today, so we will take his word for that.
Thank you so much. Now, let's just discuss briefly the issue of Ida Njai. You have discussed this matter at some point. You are aware that a disciplinary against her in relation to transferring her from one unit to the other? From one unit to the other.
Who is Ida Njai?
Let me show you one letter, marked folio number 38. Moved her from one unit to the other. Is it Ida or Fatu? Yes, are you aware of that situation?
Yes, yes, it's with us.
What do you mean when you say her case with you?
It was forwarded to the commission.
Please tell us more about that case.
Yeah, we are yet to discuss it, but it's...
Can you read that letter, please?
The full text?
Yes, please.
It's addressed to the Permanent Secretary. The reference disciplinary action. So this letter is a memo to my humble relating to Ms. Ida Njai, who been refusing to work at Raids unit following her temporary redeployment. I have valid reasons, discrepancies, and lack of confidentiality for removing her temporal basis from the procurement unit to the Raids unit. She is clinging on to the fact that procurement and not exchange personnel, but is conditional on all other factors being equal. The role of procurement is overemphasized in this day and age, and since overall responsibility, I took the decision to tell the creation of a SPU, the Specialized Procurement Unit, notifying both the GPPA and the Commission. Sir, I would like you to help forward to the Local Government Service Commission for the right disciplinary action to be taken, a precedent for orders in the future. This was written by the CEO of Banjul City Council. The letter was dated October 2020.
What is the reference number?
Reference number is 33/BCC/P/N/135.
May I please have it? Now, what is the procedure with respect to internal placement? Does the generally have the powers to move one employee from one unit to the other?
They can make internal, but in this case, is moving her from department.
Maybe we just or the regular appointments and general transfers, both internally and externally.
Yes. Before
we come to the issue of Idanjai. Now, what I want to know is whether as CEO,
yes,
they have the powers to make internal order. When, for example, you employ an individual and send them to one area council, let's say, for example, as an IT, can they now from that unit to, let's say, procurement?
The permission of the commission. Within the same department, they can do it. One department to another, you are changing the action.
Do they have? Do they have? I want the evidence. Do they have the authority or the power to transfer individuals appointed by the commission from one unit to the other?
No,
they don't have it. Now, and you are saying the correct thing to do is what?
Within the same department.
To make cross transfers from department, they have to do what?
They have to write to the commission.
Done in this circumstance.
This one, what I read.
Yes.
No.
In this letter, the CEO clearly informed you that that he by himself to transfer the individual without approval from the commission.
Yeah, that's what the letter indicates. You know,
yes.
The letter was written in 2020.
Yes, and but the matter is still before your table.
Yes.
Now, what now becomes the rule of the commission when exercising their outside their mandate, for example?
And it gets to the commission and then come up with a decision.
How do you normally regulate these issues?
This issue will write to the CEO and ensure that the decision is reversed.
The other matter is the report on the fraudulent activity in Brikama.
Yes.
Did you say at the last hearing that you were still discussing the matter, or?
Receive a report. It's on our discussing. We are yet to discuss it in detail, and we were given, though the report was wrongly addressed, but inside it indicates is really in relation to Birkama. But this report was addressed to the governor, not bank. Unless you look inside, read the report, then you would know that it's from council.
Yes. Have you done that?
Yes, we've seen it, but we are yet to discuss.
When did you see this report?
2 or 3 weeks back.
Back.
Yes.
And were there any meetings in relation to this report?
No, we could not discuss it on that day.
And why?
We could not exhaust our agenda.
Familiar with some of the issues highlighted in the report?
No, not that much, because that was the very day.
So normally,
so I have to read the report.
So normally, when you have these reports of this nature, which
yes,
are of paramount importance and urgency for that matter, how do you deliberate over these issues?
Yeah, normally we make copies.
Yes.
And share it amongst ourselves. Then each commission member, when they are at home, they go through it, they meet, and then come up with the review.
When you read these documents,
yes,
these reports, you will be you will be in a position to know the substance
Yes.
or the matter arising,
Yes.
and so as to make timely decisions therein.
Yes.
But you haven't done that yet. You haven't read the content yet.
No, I've read part of it, but I can't remember. The issues at hand is too much.
You already said to us that you haven't
read it in totality.
Yes, so don't
Yes.
now change and say you have read it.
Yes.
Now, the reason why I'm a bit concerned is because if you've received, I will want you would have to give it as a high degree of attention.
Yes.
And treat the matter with urgency. Is that not the case? Because the reason being, if you don't do that, you're opening floodgate and allowing the problem. Is that not correct?
Yeah, but this problem was there since 2020.
No, but then
It's
now
now
been brought to your
The reason
attention.
why I'm a
Yes,
bit
since
concerned
2020.
is because if you've received audit report, I will use it as a high attention
Yes.
and treat the matter with
Yes.
because the reason being, if you don't, you're opening floodgate and allowing the problem to continue.
This problem was there since 2020.
No, but then
Yes, since 2020, it was not addressed until to us, and when our table was even full.
But they
So
failed.
we have to reprioritize, as I indicated, all the issues at once. We are constrained.
I
We are
agree.
seriously as a commission.
Now, we have heard that those complaints.
Yeah, and that affects the way
Now,
deliberated.
I agree. We have heard.
Coverage of the task.
We have
ahead of
heard
us.
your complaints regarding. Definitely, I'm sure the honourable commissioners will they are listening to you, and they will put that into serious consideration. Yeah. So now you assume enough information regarding how constrained. Yes. But regardless of that, we will still have to discuss some of the very, very urgent matters that you ordinarily should have dealt with. You said these complaints are since 2020, but they are now on your desk.
Yes.
They haven't been dealt with by the previous commissioners. You will agree that it's not that.
Yes.
But then, since they are now on your desk,
Yes.
you now have a responsibility to deal with it.
Yes, that we agree.
And then maybe perhaps the port, then you will see how urgent, mainly on very, very fraudulent activities. Do you understand?
Yes.
Which, if you don't deal with them in a timely manner, are out of control. So you have a situation wherein you're having fraud being committed on a daily basis, and they are not. Let me just now, I will read to you page,
Okay.
which talks about demand notes without receipts. Observed that during exercise, we observed that there are times the revenue collector will issue to traders after from them. These amounted to $96,500. Revealed that Mr. Sane Fonyi collected monies from them after issuing them only demand notes without receipts. Now, you have this situation being highlighted. You are not taking urgent regarding this matter. What's your reaction to that?
We have more serious one even on our table.
Like what? Give an example.
You see, and we have to give.
Can you give us example of the more serious issues you have on your table?
Like the Basse report.
Yes.
Far more serious than this one.
Now the Basse report is far more serious one.
Yes.
Go ahead. And which other?
Yeah, because according to the Basse report.
No, before you go to the substance, which other is far more serious? You have named one. Go ahead.
Yes. Now what I mean, by the time we receive
matters
this one.
Matters that you are dealing with right now.
Yes.
Which
possible to deal with the Brikama issue. I want to say the Basse issue is very. What else?
We received the reports at the same time. Then we, the two reports, we realized that the Basse one is more serious. Then in our next meeting, we dealt with the Basse one. Hopefully in our subsequent meeting, we will also look at these ones.
On the Basse one?
The Basse one for now. We are waiting for the inspection, for the investigative report.
What have you dealt with respect to the Basse one?
The interdiction.
The interdiction?
Yes.
How? So is that also not possible for this one as well?
For the
disciplinary action?
For this one. For this one, we are yet to discuss it in detail.
That's what I'm saying. If you can discuss the issue of the Basse one and the now is interdiction, also as well dealt with the Brikama issue.
Couldn't just look at all the reports at once, because in that meeting we had other agenda items too.
The other issue report.
Mr. Jallo, you have you have indicated that you are inundated with a lot of issues.
Yes.
I believe that the letter date
yes.
as to when it was written.
Yes.
And it was minuted to you.
Yes, recently.
Did you write to acknowledge to the person that wrote to the permanent secretary, which was subsequently minuted to you as a commission?
No, no.
Thank you.
Because the reason for we don't have to report to him, because that would to
Mr.
interfere.
Not, that is not my question. I was asking you the question with reference to the CEO that wrote to you requesting you to intervene on an issue of fraud. So I am asking you, when you got notice of that, did you acknowledge receipt of that and perhaps also indicating the steps that you want to take in order for the CEO to know that you letter and you are putting it into consideration to take action?
No, we did not.
We will now move to other issues. Report. On page 7, it was also found that original receipts amounts differs from duplicates. Here you have having a figure, and a duplicate will have less figures. So there will be discrepancies with respect to the originals and the duplicates, and it has caused losses. Now, the entire report.
Yeah, but I gave reasons for for not doing it at that material time.
Now, if you look at the conclusion of the auditor, go through all of the findings.
Yes.
That the review was conducted with objectivism. The recommendations were made in relation to the findings to enhance operational now we are therefore grateful to the auditor highlights that all these activities were being on numerous occasions. No action had been taken. Now the names of, and there was an on the report wherein the auditor provides evidence of demand notes without receipts. You understand? Hakwan Amaruba, Lamin Nyagado, Seni Masada Kante, Mudu Sow, Usman Ba of Buyam, Mohammed Lemin Mohammed of Buyam. All this, it's just so many, and the amount as far as the auditor could find is $96,500. And then you also have in the issue when you have duplicates, well, amounted to $81,000, not provide very logical accounting conclusion. So now, all these names of individuals that have been implicated in one way or the other, it's just too many. I can't read all of them. Are you telling me are they still working for the area council?
Because we are yet to, in our subsequent meeting, we will come up, because this came simultaneously, and when we the gravity in the Basse report was far, then we gave Basse priority to this. And but also, nonetheless, we know it's important, and we will address it.
And also, Aliusane as well is in for the area council as well.
I have no idea.
You have no idea. Let's come back to your assertion that the Basse case is far more serious. What do you mean when you say it is far more serious?
Yeah, because if you look at the figures in Basse, 10 times or even 100 times more than the figures you are reading from Birkama.
Mr.
You see, and when we saw it, the gravity, it was too much, because we are a report, the director of finance on a business account, and we are being paid, and withdrawal was made into that account, cash up to $6 million, you see, transmitted into that account. Funds are given to individuals, you see, and are obtained of 26 million without approval. Half of 2 million was also there. I cannot remember all of them, but when we look at them and we said, no, we have to give Basse priority. And so that was the reason why we subsequent meeting, you see, and hopefully the next meeting, the issue of Birkama will come up.
So every meeting you treat only one issue?
No, not only one. Because it was treated the KMC issue, and the same meeting that we all.
Your next
batch of interviews for employment.
So the interviews for employment, are they also more serious and more urgent than the fraudulent activities in Birkama as well?
No. But they were ongoing. They were an issue, because some of these positions that affecting council, and we thought that those positions must be filled.
Since you have the tendency of telling us which fraudulent activity is much more serious than the other, yes. I want to know from you now, urgent and of concern than the fraudulent activities the mass fraudulent activities in Birkama.
No, they are not. But more attention is needed for the report than the interviews. Why we take what we can chew.
More attention probably for Basse.
Yes.
Since matter. So that one separately as well.
That's why we
have in Basse you were dealing with the finance director alone.
No, and the CEO.
And the CEO.
And there are other staff also who are.
In Birkama you have more than 20 revenue collectors, more than 30 or 40 revenue collectors engaging in activities that were considered on a timely basis with respect to the area council. You have in Birkama. Mass issue, because you didn't take time to read it, you wouldn't know. I don't understand how you are going to tell me it's much more serious than the Brikama one when you have never read the Brikama audit report.
I did not read it in totality, but I browsed it. When you browse, you would know the gravity.
Was experience, how many special audits did you have?
What do you mean special audits?
The issue regarding Brikama, it was more of an internal audit, right?
Yes.
Now, the minutes from internal audit, a Minister of Finance, understand?
Yes.
Just to tell you how urgent and grave the matter is, the issue in Basse, they did emanate from an internal audit or a complaint?
The ministry.
Which ministry is that?
Local governance. Ministry of Lands. Regional government, yeah.
They conducted the...
They sent the audits.
They set an inspection team?
Ministry's internal auditor.
Yes. So, I will encourage you to read the audit report. Your analogy that it is less of a serious nature is unfounded, because you have numerous individuals engaging in corrupt practices. Hence the need for a special audit, the internal audit. The auditor can only highlight his findings, but in fact what you have in Brikama is revenue collectors engaging in activities where they will have their own receipt books, and also proper documentation in respect to the monies that they collect. And in fact, you have been collected without receipts being issued.
Yeah, I think those things could happen because of the weak internal control. The incident happened, Brikama must have taken some actions to step up the internal controls.
Those things are happening.
Because these are all related to weak internal controls. If there are inspections going on, it will minimize such activities.
I will conclude by saying that those are actions that are continuing to happen because of the fact that you are not as well.
Our job very well.
It is since 2020.
We came as a commission in 2022 October.
Yes, and when you came in 2022 October, you realized that there were fraudulent activities pending since 2020. Hence, they address these fraudulent activities.
Mr. Counsel, I think you have to accept the fact that as a commission, we cannot take all the issues at once. That thing I think we all have to accept. We cannot take, you see, we have to come and meet, discuss an issue. We cannot address all the issues at once. We have many issues. We have to reprioritize them. They are important. They are not important. Every issue that comes to the commission is important. These issues in 6 months or so. To understand the time we are in office. If we want to address 2 years, 3 years, 4 years issues, you see, within a space of 6 months, it's impossible. Otherwise, we may take the wrong decisions.
Mr. Jallo, you have been very unfair to me. You have a report already and been done for you already. And the report is there. The same manner you have dealt with the KMC issue. You have claimed in a very short period for that matter.
We received some issue before.
When we talk over each other, you will.
So, can we listen to each other? If not, the transcribers will not get what you are saying.
Thank you. Honorable Chairperson. When you are giving your evidence, I listen to you until you are done with the evidence. So allow me to also put forward my own points. My issue is, you have dealt with issues that were not as old as the 2020 report. Haven't you?
We've received the Senabu Martin before the Birkama case.
Have now.
And we treat them in that order because we cannot treat them on our table.
How do you receive these cases?
From the ministry.
When you came to the commission, you only filed. Is that not correct?
Yes.
You also used the ministry's files. Is that not correct?
When we need documentation from they will take them from the ministry's file.
And then
for
now, you are saying that the office of the permanent secretary, the Birkama issue to your office when?
Yeah, something like that.
Now, they must have documentation to prove that you received these communications.
They normally write.
3 weeks ago, they normally write. Read in this circumstance?
Yes.
So, can we have that produced to you?
Okay.
Very well. And as well, when they wrote to you regarding the Basse fraudulent allegations concerning the Director of Finance?
Yes.
Chairperson, that's all for this witness, but then I will like him.
Sorry, Chair. Can I just ask a question before I hand the witness over to the commissioners? Mr. Jammeh, you said the Basse issue involved the CEO and the Director of Finance taking a loan on behalf of the council. That was
yes, they took bank loans amounting to 26 plus without the approval of the Honorable Minister.
And on the basis of pending the investigations?
Yeah, not only that, and a host of other issues.
Now, is that not similar to what happened in the Senabu Martin Sonko case? She and the Director of Finance took a loan of $12 million on behalf of the Staff Welfare Association to guarantee the loan approval or the approval of the minister.
You see, the KMC and Basse cases may be similar, but but they are fundamentally different.
Did Senabu Martin Sonko and the Director of Finance guarantee a loan on behalf of the council?
Yes.
Without the council's authority?
Yes.
And without the authority of the minister? That.
Yes.
Were there not other issues of fraud that were involved?
Yes.
Now, the Basse Director and the CEO were interdicted pending investigations.
Yes.
Senabu Martin Finance were not interdicted pending investigations.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are reasons for that.
Thank you.
Can I explain further?
It's fine. Chairperson.
No, because I have a problem there. Because they are similar, but they are different. I think what we need to mention that for the benefit of the commissioners and also for those listening. Because this thing...
Mr. Jallo, you can proceed to explain.
Yes.
So that we can have a full understanding of the issues.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, they are similar, but I said there is a difference.
Which is?
The difference there is KMC went ahead unilaterally interdicting Senabu without which to continue will create precedents, and this will undermine the integrity of the commission. So the commission felt the need that that issue must be addressed first. Then after the next step, the next action to be taken. So that was the difference with Basse. For Basse, they did not go ahead with interdiction, but they sent this issue was forwarded to the commission. The commission felt the need that yes, they should be interdicted. That's the difference between Basse and the KMC.
Okay, I appreciate the difference just set out, but are you saying that you feel as a commission that the issue of the council doing your work for you is more of fraud within the council.
The issue of fraud was going to be a matter for this commission.
And did you
That
not?
is why we did not go.
The staff should be interdicted pending looking into the issue.
We want to was made because that
and
may
not
have
the fraud
far,
issue.
That may have far relative and then address the corruption issue.
So do you think that the staff of KMC, the staff of Kerewan Area Council, now believe that what they're saying is that it's okay for to fraud? It will not be dealt with if there are other issues that are the commission decides. But the commission will keep moving people without dealing with the issue of fraud until whenever it decides.
No, that's not the issue.
Exactly what's been done.
No.
Interdict one person that has been accused of fraud, that you have seen reports that indicate that they have committed fraud, and not interdict who has been accused of fraud and you've seen reports saying that they may have done some fraudulent activity. Why pick one over the other?
I think you are not getting me clearly.
I'm just
No,
trying
what
to
I'm saying,
understand.
what I said is that when the commission received the issue of Seynabou Martin, for the, we look at the interdiction, but we said we have to look at all together. Also to look at the corruption allegations. When we started reviewing the documents, we realized that Seynabou was even interdicted.
Interdicted since 2021.
Yes.
And that's my point. So you chose the interdiction issue.
Inclusive.
Sorry, can we listen to each other, please?
Because I apologize.
The decision to return Seynabou to work, that was the first step to address that anomaly whilst we are looking on to the corruption allegations. But whilst we were looking at the corruption allegations, we were informed that that is a matter did not go ahead.
Chairperson.
If I may come in at this point,
Yes.
Mr. Jallow, it seems to us, but you can correct me,
Yes.
that you are directed to do so. Am I correct?
When issues are sent to the commission.
What do you mean when you say?
When there are issues are not forwarded to the commission, we don't sit over those issues.
Thank you.
It's issues that are forwarded to the commission that we sit
Thank
over.
you.
Yeah.
Chairperson, I don't know whether the commissioners have questions for the witness.
I think we would, this is a convenient point to stop, but let me just find out, if they have questions, we can take them, and if you're done with the hearing, then let us know, because we are going to inform that, and then we can do the needful.
Very well.
The commissioners don't have questions at this point, so it's over to you. Let us know whether you are done with the witness.
For now, considering that there are certain documents that the witness needs to bring, I don't know whether we can discharge him for now, and then when he brings the documents, we can call him back so that we can go through those with him.
Okay, I think that is fair enough. We would, at this point, Mr. Jallow, the commissioners for now don't have questions for you.
Okay.
And we will discharge you for now until such a time that you are able to put together all the documents we have asked you to bring, and we will recall you.
Okay.
As and when is necessary. So thank you so much for sharing with us your role and your responsibility at the Commission. Thank you, and we may rise for tea break for 30 minutes.